Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with day 3 of Follow a Sketch February, hop started by Sandy, which is Scrapping Reflections on Facebook, and State Goddess here on YouTube. And this sketch is by Kim Keene, and it has 3 pictures. So I have these pictures of my grandson with my mom, which is his Nana, his great-grandmother. And I'm going to just use some scraps and packaging from some Hip Kit collections that I have. As they dwindle down to this kind of paper, they all end up in one package. A lot of times their stuff works together, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just going to go with it. I do have a black cardstock to use, and then I did pull embellishments just from this one collection because it had quite a bit of things that I could use for this layout. So I have my papers and scraps, I have my embellishments, I have these super cute pictures and this really cool sketch. So let's see how this goes. So I started with a 12 by 12 cardstock in just black, and I used Desert Sand by Delusions. It's a Delusion Shimmer Spray by Diane Reevely, and then White Linen in the same kind of spray. And I just tap those out to give myself kind of coverage everywhere, but not heavy. And then I just put the white splatters in the top left and the bottom right, because the majority of my embellishing is going to be in the bottom left and the top right. Because I'm following kind of where those little circles are on the layout, I am going to use those as my cluster spaces. So, yes, I'm only really doing 2, although there's kind of a third cluster on here, but it's kind of small. So I take these scraps. I almost always keep scraps that have like wordy bits or rainbows. Those are some of my favorite things to work with. And I lay those down. Now, my pictures are a little bit bigger than the sketch kind of looks like. I probably, if I was going more directly by the sketch, should have done 2 2x2s and a 3x3, but I did 2 3x3s and a 4x4. And, but I do love the way this turned out, and it ended up working out really well for me, because here in a minute, you're going to see me putting frames down over the top and bottom picture. But first I decided I want to mat this layout. It kind of calls for it, kind of looks like you're calling for it on the sketch, and I really do love the look of a matted layout. So I did find this scrap of paper and decided to add it to my layers. Since most of my layers are kind of hidden underneath the pictures because they're bigger, I figured I'd add a little bit more color and another layer. The back side of that was more of a light white color with like tan leaves on it, and that wasn't going to stand out. There's already enough white back there, so I left that alone and used the blue. So I take this off, like, it's kind of like a dingy white frame that says family, and then I'm going to take this blue one with gold stripes on it, because that is going to work best with the colors that I've already pulling and some of the embellishments I've already pulled out over there on the left to add to my layout. Now I took a punch that I have it's a heart punch, and just used whatever scraps I had left from the papers I was using to make like this pink and the blue and the green hearts. And then I'm just going to put those up in the top right corner and the bottom left corner, kind of nodding towards the little circles that are on here. You know, one of the things I love to do, and haven't done it in a long time now that I think about it, I like to take those daubers and make ink spots that way. That would be a fun way to use this sketch, and to make those little dauber spots either in multicolors or just one color. That would be a fun way to nod to that little bit. But since I'm using black paper, it's a little harder to do that. So I've started my cluster in the top right and the bottom left, and then I add this little interesting bunny. I'm not sure what this bunny has to do with anything, but it's cute, and says my grandson, so we're going to go with that. Plus, I feel like it's playful, and that's what they're doing. They're being really playful. And so I add that there, and then I add that little love you and right by its feet, just to kind of add a little something clustery in that area. And then I'm going to add a few more of the little hearts, and then I'm going to put my title up here, and it says Cozy and Warm. The sketch has the title going down the layout. I don't typically like to put my titles the way that it, you know, like how it's got it stacked on top of each other like that. One, because I'm terrible about lining stuff up. Terrible. And two, sometimes it's really hard to read, depending on like the font and the alphas you're using. So instead of that, I'm going to use these little wordy bits that say, sweet thing, home is where my heart is, and finding happiness, to just kind of elongate where the title is, to give that same illusion that there's, that wordy bits going down there. I add like this little house down here at the bottom, these cute little hearts that have like little florals in them. And then I'm really done. I'm going to finish off with some gold gemstones, just to finish off and add a little bit more to each of these sections. I only do the 2 though. And then I'm going to use a gold pin to do my journaling. So it'll kind of give it that triangular effect, but I just feel like the 2 clusters that I've already made are good enough. And then I pull this paper from a Maggie Holmes collection, because it's a very similar pink to the pink that I've got going on in this layout. And it is not a paper I like. Like, it's not attractive to me, but because it's, you can see it when you get it closer, but it's not something I'm going to use typically. And so I think this is a perfect way to use that with a thin border around it, because really all you're getting is that pink, and it covers a lot of that excess, like really wild pattern that's on it. So, but here is the close-up of my layout. See, that's just not my style of paper. But being used as a mat like this is perfect. But anyway, there it is. Look at that face he's making at my mom. She's making funny faces at him and silly sounds. And so that's what I journaled about. And I do have a video from this, so it will be forever in my phone, so I can listen to my mother goofing around with him and him giggling and laughing and smiling at her. I just adore them. So, but anyway, I would love it if you'd give me a thumbs up if you like my video and or my layout. I would love it if you'd subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for sticking around and hanging out with me today. Hope you'll come back again and see me really soon. Please go check out the playlist for Follow Sketch February. That'll be linked below. And I hope y'all have a great day. Hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love, and happy scrapping.